If you want 0 clients as a coach, make sure you follow the helpful tips in this video. Hey, my name's Jason Moss. I help coaches get clients. And sometimes the best way to do that is to teach you what not to do. So if you're a coach, keep watching because you're about to find that out. Number 1 is become the best coach you can be and don't focus on anything else. So I went to college for music, and my first real job out of college was as an audio engineer. And I would help artists make records, go into recording studios or help mix records. And I spent so much time learning how to be a great mixer. And pretty much all my time was spent studying mixing tips and recording tips and trying to figure out how I could make better sounding music every single day. I had this belief, this idea, that if I could just become the best mixer in the world, someone who could make incredible sounding music, then that would be the key to creating a profitable business and making a lot of money doing what I did. But when I started going into record labels and sitting down with A&R executives and having conversations with people who actually could hire me, what I found was that most of the time, they didn't actually hire the best, the most talented mixer or audio engineer. They hired the person who they had the best relationship with, or they hired the person who had the credits that mixed the #1 record 3 months ago. Initially, this drove me crazy. I was like, this is such a rigged game. Like, why can't it be that if you're the best, you get the most work? That's how it should be. But the truth is that's not the way the world works. And I see so many coaches out there making the same mistake that I did. Going out and spending tens of thousands of dollars on coaching certifications and investing in developing their skills. And there's nothing wrong with that. I think that's an important part of success. But the truth is that your ability to get clients and make real money as a coach has as much or more to do with your ability to actually run a business and market yourself and the sales skills and all of that. And so if you're not investing in developing that part of yourself and you're just expecting your coaching skills to do all the work for you, you're gonna be disappointed and it's gonna be really difficult to create success. Number 2 is to outsource your marketing. See a lot of coaches out there who are like, I hate marketing. I don't understand it. I don't want anything to do with it. I just wanna wake up every day and coach people. So I'm gonna hire an agency or someone who says they can get me like 10 sales calls a week or whatever it is, and just outsource the entire thing. And someone else is gonna create all my content for me. And I'm gonna, kind of just wash my hands of it, expect that that's gonna solve my marketing problem. Here's the truth. Marketing is like breathing. It's that important in your business. And if you're trying to outsource your marketing, it's like outsourcing your breathing. You can't do that. You gotta learn how to market yourself. And the truth is no one else is gonna be able to do a better job at that than you. And what I've learned through scaling a multi-6-figure coaching business, helping thousands of coaches around the world, is that there's a big difference in business between delegation and abdication. Delegation is, I understand how to do something and I've gotten to the stage in my business where it's not the highest value use of my time. And so I'm gonna hire somebody else to take some things off my plate, not because I can't do them, but because there are other priorities, other things that are more important. That is how you run a successful business, through delegation, right? And there's absolutely a stage in the journey as a coach where it makes sense to hire people to help you with your social media or, edit your videos or start to even play a role in the content creation process. At the same time, that's very different than abdication, which is I don't understand something, I don't want to deal with it, and so I'm just gonna expect that somebody else can kind of like take it off my hands and do it for me. That will get you in a lot of trouble. So don't outsource your marketing, especially if you're in the early days. One of the best things that you can do as a new coach is really start to understand how to market yourself successfully. This is a huge key to success. If you can do this well, you're gonna be miles ahead of most of the other coaches out there who are going out there and trying to find some agency who's gonna solve all their problems for them. Number 3 is to avoid social media like the plague. I hear from a lot of coaches out there who say, Jason, I hate social media. I don't like the way I feel on social media. I don't want anything to do with social media. I don't want to be on Instagram. I don't want to be on these apps. And I get it. Like social media has some pros and a lot of cons. And personally, I don't want to be scrolling on Instagram all day either. And at the same time, as a business owner, as someone who is trying to get in front of potential clients, the most important question you can ask yourself is, well, where are my people actually hanging out? And the truth is, whether you like it or not, the world that we live in today is a world that's completely dominated by social media. If you go to Starbucks and you stand in line and you look over your shoulder and you see like everyone's on their phones and staring at their phones, And what are they doing? They're scrolling through Instagram, they're scrolling through TikTok, they're on Facebook, right? And so as someone who's trying to capture attention, because that really is the first foundational step to marketing, it's you gotta get in front of someone and capture their attention, right? You gotta go where people already are and you gotta get in front of them. And so social media is an incredible tool that you can leverage in order to do that. And regardless of what feelings you might have about social media, I get it. Like, I totally do. The truth is that if you say, I don't want anything to do with social media, I don't want to be on social media, you're missing a massive opportunity to really create great connections and build great relationships with people who could be great clients for you. So don't avoid social media, instead embrace it. And at the same time, set some healthy boundaries around your relationship with social media. And at a certain point, you can start bringing a team on board to be able to help you with some of this. So you don't have to spend a ton of time on social media. You can have someone who schedules content out for you or replies to people or engages, on your behalf. These are things that can make your life easier so you don't have to spend, hours on social media. But in the early days, you're gonna be spending some time there, and that's okay. So embrace social media as a part of the process, as an incredible tool that you can use in order to get in front of people, and you're gonna be so much further ahead than the coach who says, I don't want anything to do with this. I'm just gonna, sit in my room all day and expect clients to fall from the sky. Now, by the way, if you're watching this and you're a coach who's looking for a roadmap that you can apply in order to attract 2, 3, 4 or more high-paying coaching clients into your business, I put together a free client attraction guide that walks through a roadmap that I've shared with thousands of coaches to help them do this. And it's completely free. I'd love to share it with you. You can get that by clicking the link above or in the description down below right now, and I hope you decide to check that out. Number 4 is to spend 6 months choosing your niche. Look, if there's one thing that trips new coaches up more than anything else, it's the conversation around what's my niche? Do I have the right niche? Do I feel like I like my niche? Is this niche aligned with my deepest life purpose? How do I know? I'm not sure. These are things that keep so many coaches up at night. If there's one thing that causes so much stress and anxiety, it's this question. And here's the truth. Here's what I learned about choosing a niche. And this is also coming from someone who's had multiple different niches. When I started coaching, I was helping musicians, and then I became a business coach, and I've done so many different things. Number 1 is you're not gonna feel super clear about your niche at first. That's just the truth. Clarity comes not through thinking, but through you putting yourself out there and taking action and seeing what people respond to. After you show up for a couple months and you start creating content for a specific group of people, you can step back and ask yourself, do I actually like talking to these people? Like, do I feel like there's a need here? Like, are these people actually paying me? These are questions that you can only answer by putting things out into the world. And so I see so many coaches out there that get caught in this analysis paralysis around their niche. And rather than just making a decision and starting and trusting that, hey, even if it's wrong, you're not married to it. Like, you can change your niche at any time. And most coaches who have been in this game for a while, it's very normal to have multiple pivots and to change your niche. As you grow and evolve and shift, you're gonna naturally be called to serve different people. And so that's okay, right? You're not married to your niche for life, but you gotta start somewhere. What I always tell coaches is like, start with something that you're maybe 70%, 80% sure about. Maybe you're not 100%. Just go put yourself out there. Rather than spending 6 months trying to think it through, the best thing you can do is start putting yourself out there into the world. And then when you start getting that feedback and seeing what people respond to, that's what's gonna get you that clarity. And that's what's actually gonna help you move forward so much more quickly. Number 5 is to complain that you don't have enough time. Look, we all have busy lives, right? And maybe you're working a full-time job right now. You've got kids, you've got a family, you've got other obligations in your life. Welcome to the club. I don't think I've ever talked to a coach who said, Jason, I feel like I have more than enough time to do everything that I want to do. Pretty much everyone I talk to, some variation of the story is, man, I feel like I'm so busy. I've got so much going on at work. And I get it. Sometimes life can feel super overwhelming. There are a lot of things that we're juggling in the air. It feels like spinning plates every day, trying to take care of all the priorities. And at the same time, the most successful coaches that I work with are the ones that say, okay, yeah, I've got a lot going on. And how can I create time for what matters most to me? Because the truth is that you have a lot more control than you think. And this is a very common victim mindset that I see keeping so many great coaches from launching their business or just actually prioritizing the process of moving forward. It's very easy to blame external circumstances and say, well, this is the reason why I don't have enough time to launch my business, or this is the reason why I have to stay stuck at this job. But the truth is, if you actually sit down and just ask yourself a more empowering question, like, how can I create 10 hours a week? And just sit down, open a Google Doc and ask yourself that question and let your mind come up with solutions, and you'll be amazed how many options and choices are available to you. This is what successful coaches do. So don't tell yourself that you don't have the time, because the truth is we all know that we have more than enough time for what matters to us. Because the truth is, if you really want something, there's more than enough time for you to be able to make it happen. And the sixth way to not get clients is to try to do everything yourself. This is what I did the first 3 years of my coaching business. And truth is, I was able to make some progress on my own. I was stumbling along, working 6 days a week. Look, I was moving forward, but I was making a lot of mistakes. And I see so many coaches out there doing the same thing who are caught up in these limiting beliefs and mindsets of like, well, I'm not making money, so I don't have the money to hire a coach. Well, of course, if you had the money, you wouldn't need a coach, right? The very reason that you don't have the money is exactly the reason you need to hire a business coach, because that's how you're gonna make more money, right? Oh, I feel like I can figure it out on my own. Yeah, of course you can figure it out on your own. You wanna spend the next 5 years trying to do this on your own? Sure, you could probably figure it out. But like any professional coach, the best coaches out there recognize that the best way to get to where they wanna be is to leverage the experience of others. That is what coaching is, right? So if you believe in the value of coaching, really that belief is it's better, it's easier, it's faster to surround myself with mentors and guides and people who can help. So look, you have two choices as a coach who's trying to build your business. You can be the person who says, I'm gonna go do the free YouTube videos and try to, look at blog articles and stumble my way through this. But look, the coaches who are really serious are the ones who get help. This is something that really shifted for me over time, because I used to be really caught in this DIY mindset. And over the last 2 years, I've invested at least $50,000 in hiring mentors and guides and coaches. There's no way I would have been able to scale my business to multiple six figures without that. It would have taken 10 times as long, because I would have been stumbling through the journey on my own. Don't do this alone. Look, it's not easy to launch a coaching business, to grow a coaching business. This is not like something you just flip a switch and clients are gonna fall from the sky. There's so many great people out there who can help you with this, who can help you move forward more quickly and help you avoid so many of the roadblocks that keep coaches stuck. So get some help. It's gonna make the journey so much easier. And number 7 is to try to make everything perfect. This is such a normal impulse that, I have certainly experienced and continue to experience. I am a recovering perfectionist, true confession. When I first started my business, I used to spend so much time building out offers and trying to make everything perfect before I put stuff out into the world. And what I learned over several years was there was very little correlation between the things that I spent a lot of time on and the way that people responded, and the things that I spent a little bit of time on and the way that people responded. In other words, sometimes I'd spend like 10 minutes writing a post or putting something out and people would love it. And sometimes I'd spend like 2 hours like meticulously building something, or 2 months putting together something, and I'd put it out there and there'd be nothing but crickets. And so what I learned over time is that perfectionism, this idea of like, I wanna make everything perfect before I put it out into the world, was one of the biggest things that held me back. And once I started getting more in this mindset of like, how do I create and release quickly? Because the faster I can get something out there, the faster I can get feedback from my audience, from my niche, about what they resonate with and what they don't, and what they buy and what they don't, right? This is such an important mindset, and it's such a big flip for most people, because most of us were trained to think like perfectionists. Our entire education system is a relic of the Industrial Revolution, and really, it's designed to create factory workers. So if you look at the way that education works on a deep level, you go into English class, and what do? You get the assignment. It's like, write the essay, and you write the first draft, and then you write the second draft, and then you write the third draft, and you polish it up. You make sure there are no spelling errors, and you turn it in finally after all this hard work, and you get a grade. Entrepreneurship does not work like that. This is not about polishing and perfecting things and trying to make everything perfect before you launch. It's about taking messy action, putting half-baked things out into the world, seeing what lands and what doesn't, and using that feedback to correct course. And if you can do that, if you can slip out of the perfectionist mindset, oh my gosh, you're gonna be able to move forward so much more quickly. And number 8 is to try to help everyone. See, a lot of coaches, I go on their websites and it's like, I can help you with your finances, and I can help you with your relationships, and I can help you find a great job, and I can help you with your health. And they're trying to be the catch-all coach for everyone. And this is a very common mistake that I see from new coaches. And oftentimes it's rooted in this mindset of, I feel like if I narrow my focus and only try to serve a specific group of people with a specific problem, then I'm afraid that there aren't going to be enough clients out there for me. And if I'm just getting started, shouldn't I have the widest lane possible so that whoever comes, I can help them? The truth is the exact opposite, which is when you actually have a narrow message, when you're speaking specifically to a group of people with a clear problem and challenge and desire, and not trying to serve everyone, that's really when you can create a a depth of connection that's gonna make somebody feel like they wanna work with you. When someone goes on your website and sees that you do 15 different things, they don't get that feeling of, wow, this person is a real pro at the one thing that I actually need. I don't wanna hire a generalist. Like if I'm hiring somebody to do my taxes, I don't wanna hire the person who does taxes and also does plumbing and kind of a coach on the side and then, runs a brick and mortar insurance business and does like 10 different things. I wanna hire the person who wakes up every single day and lives and breathes nothing but taxes, right? Because that's gonna be the person who has the most expertise in that area and who can guide me the best. Because we have access to everyone, we are in a world where we look for specialists. We don't look for generalists. So be the specialist, narrow your focus, and that's gonna be one of the biggest keys to standing out and attracting great clients to you. And number 9 is to choose a niche that can't pay you. Very common mistake I see from coaches who see a group of people that they wanna help, but they don't ask themselves the question, can this group of people actually afford working with me? For example, I talked to a guy once, he was a really sweet guy. He had recently come out of prison and he wanted to help other people who were just coming out of prison get their life back on track and start, moving forward in their life. And I think that's a beautiful mission. And my heart goes out to that guy because it's really important work. And at the same time, what I told him was, look, let's be honest, someone comes out of prison, probably don't have $3,000 to invest in a coaching program. They're working on getting a job, they're working on the foundations, right? So this is probably not a great niche to serve with your high ticket coaching business. And I see so many coaches making this mistake, choosing groups of people that are struggling financially or that don't have jobs or that are in a position where they just can't afford coaching. And I get the heart around wanting to help those people. And I think that's a beautiful thing. But when it comes to specifically to selling high ticket coaching packages, you got to choose a group of people who can actually afford you. So don't skip this when you're thinking about your niche. And look, I also want to acknowledge the tension that I feel even around sharing this, because I recognize that it favors certain groups of people who are generally wealthier, and disadvantaged people are generally the people who don't get access to coaching. And I think that that's a problem. I don't know how to solve that problem. At the same time, I know that just building a business and creating success, this is something that matters, and it's something that you have to pay attention to. So it's a messy, topic kind of filled with tension for me, because I want to be able to serve groups of people who really do need help, who might not have the money. And at the same time, as a business owner, I've recognized that this is just where I need to focus. Like, this is ultimately what's gonna build a profitable coaching business. So it's a difficult conversation to have. And at the same time, this is something that you really wanna pay attention to. Otherwise, you're bound to have issues when it comes to actually getting clients, and particularly getting clients who can actually pay you. And number 10 is to only show up when you feel like it. Not every day in your coaching business, you're gonna wake up in the morning, jump out of bed and say, oh my God, you know what I want more than anything else in the world is to spend the next 3 hours creating content. I think sometimes like business coaches like me romanticize the process of building a business. Like every day is just like this like fantasy, and you wake up in the morning and you're like, oh my God, this is amazing. The truth is, like any other job, there are highs and there are lows. And there are moments where you're really lit up and excited. And look, I love coaching and I love what I do. And I want to be clear about that. I love serving my clients. And some days I wake up and I'm like, I don't really want to create content today. I don't really want to show up. The difference between amateurs and professionals is that amateurs, when they're feeling that way, they just lay on the couch. They're like, I don't really want to do anything today. And professionals say, look, this is my job. Just like you wouldn't ditch work because you decided you didn't want to show up. Same thing goes with running a business. And that commitment and that consistency of saying, this is what I'm doing. If I have on my calendar today, I'm gonna spend 2 hours creating content, I'm gonna honor that commitment to myself, and I'm not gonna blow it off. That is how professional coaches operate. That is how you show up. If you wanna create success as a coach, you're not always gonna feel like it, right? And at the same time, certainly you can build systems and processes around you so you don't constantly have to show up every moment and every second. You can take time off and you can do all those things that you want to do and spend time with your family and all those things too. So this does not mean that you are like a prisoner to your business. And at the same time, you got to show up. You got to be consistent. And sometimes you're not going to feel like it. That's the truth. Show up, make that commitment to yourself, honor those commitments, and treat this like you're a professional, because you are. And number 11 is to stop marketing when results don't come quickly. See a lot of coaches out there, they're like super jazzed about marketing. They're like, I'm gonna show up, I'm ready to go. And then they spend 2 weeks marketing and they're like, this doesn't work. Marketing doesn't work, Facebook doesn't work, Instagram doesn't work. this sucks, I'm not getting any traction, and they stop showing up. Here's the truth. Marketing takes time because relationships take time. And if you think about anyone who's really important in your life, your partner, your spouse, your best friend, if you think about how those relationships formed and that depth and that connection that you have today, didn't happen overnight, probably took years and probably took hundreds of interactions and hours and hours and hours of time that you spent with them, right? And relationships in all forums are the same way. Relationships with people who are potentially thinking about wanting to work with you. Someone does not go from stranger to paying client overnight. They need to warm up to you and they need to see you lots of times and build that trust. So marketing is really the act of building relationships. And when you treat marketing like this, it means that you show up consistently and you continue to show up day after day and plant those seeds and put in those deposits and detach from the outcome. Just like most people wouldn't go on a first date saying, oh, I'm gonna sleep with this person tonight. They'd go out on a first date and they let go of that. And they say, I'm just gonna have a good time and I'm gonna get to know this person, right? And wherever this heads, this is where it heads. Marketing is the same way. If you show up every single day, rooted in the heart of service and committed to serving your people, sharing, giving, adding value to other people's lives, over time, you will succeed. Most of the coaches that I see that don't create success is because they give up too early. They do something for a couple weeks, and then when it's not working right away, they switch strategies or they second guess themselves or they stop showing up. Marketing is about playing the long game. I made $734 my first 6 months as a coach when I started back in 2016. And most of those first 6 months were me just learning and building my audience and starting to understand the principles of how to create great content. It did not happen overnight. And if I would have given up 2 months in, I wouldn't be running a multi-six-figure coaching business today, serving thousands of coaches around the world. So this stuff does take time. It doesn't happen overnight. I know that's inconvenient, and it also goes at odds with what most other business coaches, including me, by the way, are showing you, all of our success stories from clients who have, amazing results right away. And that does happen, but I would say the average is it typically takes some more time. This does not happen overnight. So continue to stay the course, continue to show up. Don't give up when you don't see results right away. I promise you, if you stay consistent, you do the right things over time, you'll be amazed at where you end up. So I mentioned this earlier, but if you're a coach who is looking for a roadmap that you can follow to help you get on track to sign 2, 3, 4 high-paying clients or more month after month into your business, I put together a free client attraction guide that walks through a lot of my best advice. It's super powerful stuff. I hope you decide to check this out. You can click the link above or below to download this for free. And this is really good stuff. I definitely recommend checking this out, and I hope you decide to do so. And if you like this video, you're definitely gonna love that one too. So click the link on the screen to go check that out, and I'll see you in the next video.